thanks a lot for staying with us here at CNN News 18. You're watching the biggest exclusive tonight. I'm Ridhima Bhatnagar. At a time when the Congress party is facing challenges of its loyalists leaving the party, infighting within the party and a low electoral success across the country, today over 9,000 Pradesh Congress Committee delegates voted to choose their next president. Now the election is simple. It's between two contestants. It's Mallikarjun Kharge on one side and Shashi Tharoor on the other. While Mallikarjun Kharge has been considered the Gandhi family's unofficial official candidate with a large number of senior leaders backing him, Shashi Tharoor has pitched himself as a candidate of change. This will be only the sixth time in the Congress's nearly 137-year-old history that an electoral contest would decide who would take up the mantle of the party's president. The current interim party president, Sonia Gandhi, said she's been waiting for this day for a long time. While the Congress has called this a democratic process, the BJP on expected lines has called this move a sham and have said whoever comes in as the new president will just be a remote control and the final control and decisions will still be taken by the Gandhis. So the big question is, will this next president of the Congress party actually pave way for change, or will it just be a remote control president?
Are you happy?
I've been waiting for a long time for this day.
It's a historic day for Congress. For the first time in 24 years, a non-Gandhi is set to take over the party. 9,000 delegates lined up in 48 polling stations to cast their vote for either Mallikarjun Kharge or Shashi Tharoor. Kharge is being seen as the approved candidate who filed his nomination at the 11th hour. But he maintains the Gandhis are not involved.
Some people, they are practicing or they are always defaming Gandhi family. That much I can tell. And purposely asking this question repeatedly, it means there is something I can say.
Ahead of the elections, Tharoor had alleged an uneven playing field and claimed that several state party chiefs had chosen to campaign for Kharge and not him.
My fate and the future of the Congress party is in their hands. I'm sure that whatever judgment they exercise will be in the best interest of the party.
Elections are being held 3 years after Rahul Gandhi stepped down from the top post following Congress's second straight defeat in Lok Sabha elections.
Thank you.
His mother Sonia Gandhi has been the party's interim president since then. Despite pressure from a section of Congress leaders, Rahul Gandhi refused to return as Congress chief. Instead, he's leading the party's Bharat Jodo Yatra, walking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir in a Padyatra which is being seen as an attempt to revive Congress's fortunes ahead of the 2024 general elections.
मैसेज भी गया कि राहुल गांधी जी जो यात्रा कर रहे हैं उसमें एक संदेश क्या है? संदेश वो है जो देश के फ्यूचर से जुड़ा हुआ है, भविष्य से जुड़ा हुआ है, प्यार, मोहब्बत, भाईचारा, सद्भावना का माहौल बने देश के अंदर. उसी रूप में चुनाव जो हो रहे हैं, इनर पार्टी डेमोक्रेसी का प्रतीक है चुनाव ये.
So at the end of the day, will the next Congress party chief simply be a proxy for the Gandhi family?
Let me also now first bring in my colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who's been tracking all these developments for us. Pallavi, what I find very difficult to understand is what is the intent behind as far as these elections are concerned. The Congress is saying it's a democratic process. It's up for anybody who actually wants to contest as far as the party president is concerned. But the minute you have so many people coming out openly backing Mallikarjun Kharge, doesn't it then become amply clear, one, who is the, unofficial official candidate and the one who actually has the backing of the Gandhis as well?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ridhima, but they began with a very good intention, and the intention was essentially to make the point that this was a real election, and that's why Sonia Gandhi would keep on making this message across even to us and also to every party colleague who would meet her, that I'm not going to decide who should be fighting and who should not be fighting. I'm just going to go and cast my vote. And as she said earlier today, this is something I have been waiting for years. But if you look at the sequence of events which followed after that, Ashok Gehlot, then he decides not to file the nomination papers because Sonia Gandhi was upset with the state of affairs in Rajasthan and the way the situation was handled. Then you have a Mallikarjun Kharge, and Kharge going on record not once but repeatedly to make the point that there should be a consensus candidate, which means that there should be only one person who contests the elections. And I think the worst of it all was when Shashi Tharoor at a press conference right over here said that, he was facing a treatment which was very preferential to Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. I think at that point of time, the lid was off. So even if the Congress party wants to flaunt the fact that they are holding elections for the top post, these kind of statements coming from their own leaders actually completely contradicts the perception that they're trying to build up.
And the other problem also is, which of course the BJP is also now using to mount its attack, is that even if you have a Mallikarjun Kharge becoming the party president, it'll be a remote controlled party president. And he's gone on to record to say that there will be no qualms in taking advice or help as far as the Gandhis are concerned. Then is this process even needed?
Yeah, exactly. And we are not saying it. Mr. Kharge himself said it. And not just yesterday, Ridhima, he said it earlier also at a press conference. When I remember I was there and we asked him this question. He said he still considers the Gandhis to be their leaders and he'll do what they tell him to do. Now, that's not the way a Congress president or a would-be Congress president talks like that. Because this is always going to be giving rise to the speculation that can the Gandhis completely give up control of the Congress party? Will they? Or will there be a kind of a remote control? And will voices soon start emerging, maybe after a couple of months, then it would have been better if a Gandhi family member had become the head of the party?
Pallavi, quickly, before I let you go, also, I want to understand what is going to be the immediate challenge for this new party president. Infighting is something that you've been highlighting. There are elections due and, of course, the larger picture for 2024. How is the Congress planning to tackle all of this with the new party president?
Well, ironically, one of the first challenges they'll have to deal with is in Rajasthan. Mr. Kharge and Ajay Maken had gone to Jaipur to sort out the problem. And the reason why Kharge had to contest is also because that problem just emerged. So that's going to be one crisis he'll have to decide whether there is one, whether Sachin Pilot can become the CM. The second most important thing, I think, is the upcoming elections, Gujarat and Himachal. No one has gone there and campaigned. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is not touching these two states. In fact, Ridhima, Kharge and Tharoor themselves, while campaigning, did not even go to both these two states. So that's going to be the next big challenge for them.
Lastly, Pallavi, I also quickly want to understand, and you did touch upon this, as far as the contenders were concerned, Shashi Tharoor came out with a very clear campaign, which is a campaign for change, because he feels that there are some changes that are needed to revive this party. Sources within the party, what was their feeling about Shashi Tharoor?
Well, I mean, the fact that, there are not too many takers for him and not many people are wanting him to become the Congress president. And here I'm talking about the senior leadership of the Congress party is because they don't think that he can be the man who can lead the pack. They feel that Mr. Kharge has the kind of gravitas. He also is senior. And, a Congress president also has to negotiate with other opposition political parties. They feel that Mr. Tharoor may not be able to do so. And Kharge can at a critical time like this when we're looking at the Lok Sabha elections just a couple of years away.
Okay, Pallavi, we'll leave the conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. This is also an important time for us to really talk to you about who the contenders are as far as the race to become the next party president for the Congress party. Let's just do a quick SWOT analysis of what really works in the favor of Mallikarjun Kharge and what works in the favor of Shashi Tharoor. Let's first talk to you about Mallikarjun Kharge. What is his strength? As we've been pointing out, he's seen somebody who's close to the Gandhis. He's also now being seen as the unofficial official candidate. But what is the weakness? Age is not really on his side, and there is no real connect outside the state of Karnataka. But there is obviously an opportunity for him. Karnataka assembly polls are due next year, so he could use his fan base there on the ground. But what is the threat? Seen as controlled by the Gandhis. And when he comes out and says that there is no qualm to take some sort of help or advice from the Gandhis, the attack is that this is going to be a remote-controlled party president. Let's now talk to you about Shashi Tharoor, who is the other contender. The strength is he's extremely articulate, appeal among upwardly mobile. What is the weakness? Not really a mass leader, lacks organizational experience. But the opportunity for Tharoor can be seen as a fresh start for the Congress, and this is exactly what his pitch point for his campaign has been, a campaign for change. What is the threat? Had to quit as MOS faced inquiry over his wife Sunanda Pushkar's death, and he's also openly spoken about how it's been really unfair because a lot of the party leaders have already come out in support, the likes of Mallikarjun Kharge, and this is where it becomes interesting. While the Congress is saying that this is a democratic process, we're not really favoring anybody, you've had these list of leaders who've already come out and given their support to Mallikarjun Kharge. You had Ashok Gehlot, who was once seen in the running as far as the party president is concerned. Then you've already had Congress MP Manish Tiwari. You've got the likes of former Defence Minister A.K. Antony. You've got former INB Minister Ambika Soni, Mukul Vasnik. And the list really is long. Even Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Siddharamaiah, Ajay Makhar, Bhupinder Hooda, the former Haryana Chief Minister, Digvijay Singh, who's a Congress MP, Prithviraj Chavan, former Maharashtra Chief Minister, they've all already backed Mallikarjun Kharge. Thus raising the question, is this really a democratic process? So the question that we want to discuss over the next 30 minutes is, even as the race for the Congress president is on, is it really a democratic process or is it just optics? Let me also now introduce our guest to take the discussion forward. We have spokesperson of the BJP, Anuja Kapoor. We have spokesperson of the Congress, Mahima Singh. We have senior journalist, Hemant Atri. We also have political analyst, Varun Singh. Good to have all of you on the broadcast with us. Mahima Singh, let me begin with you. The big question that is being asked, not just by the opposition, by many others, is that yes, the Congress is claiming that this is a democratic process. Anybody was allowed to throw their hat in the ring. And there are no favorites as far as the Gandhis are concerned. Well, that was fine till the time you had these long list of people who came out and openly supported Mallikarjun Kharge. I just put that list out. Doesn't it then nullify the entire process?
How does it, Ridhima? Because we recently saw in the country there was a presidential poll, and we understand the value of consensus and saving the ado for everybody. And indeed, there was an attempt by the most senior leaders of the party to approach, both the candidates to actually come at a consensus. And if that is possible, then the election would be avoided. But since that could not have been reached, so of course, those who have supported Mallikarjun Kharge have done so openly. And I don't see anything wrong in that. There were people who supported one presidential candidate for the presidential polls. There were parties who came together to say that we'll be supporting this candidate.
No, the reason that I asked you this, Mahima, is because the Congress themselves has been saying that you need to respect the entire process. You're taking the moral ground saying that look at us, we at least have elections. But the minute you come out and already support one contender over the other, one, is it fair to the other contender who's still in the running? And secondly, is it fair to the election process? Because on one hand, you have the Gandhis and the top leadership saying we're not favoring anyone. The minute you have a revolt in Rajasthan, Ashok Gehlot, who was seen as a top contender, is removed from that running. He goes to meet Sonia Gandhi in the national capital. A lot of drama plays out. And then as far as Mallikarjun Kharge is concerned, you already have leaders backing him. Then is Shashi Tharoor wrong in believing that it's already been unfair from day one?
Which party doesn't have internal dynamics? These are the internal dynamics of my party. And that's an internal matter for us. Whatever went on, whatever will go on. But as far as the election is concerned, we have had 17 presidents so far in our 137-year-old history. And out of those 17, it has been 5 times before that elections were conducted to elect a president. In fact, once it was a triangular poll. So this is for the 6th time that the election has been conducted. But that doesn't mean that all the other presidents, the rest of the 12 presidents which came without an election, were not as relevant to the party. In fact, everybody has played their important role. Everybody has significantly contributed to the growth of the party and thus the growth of the nation with the party as the contribution of the Congress. So I don't see a point here. Why should we be debating about whether this is a democratic election or not? Indeed, it is a democratic process. Since morning today, it was seen our party president, erstwhile party presidents, all our Bharat Yatris, everybody came out to vote. All the delegates have voted, and the result will be out on the 19th. I don't see where or how is it not democratic.
Okay. Anuja Kapoor responds to what Mahima Singh and the Congress party at large are saying, that this is an internal matter for us. We're at least carrying out an election. The BJP is on no moral ground because they don't even conduct one.
If it is an internal matter for Congress, please keep it, behind the doors. Don't make it open and show off to everybody, because this is what is happening, where the Rahul Gandhi ji is going out on streets for Bharat Jodo, and the new elected president would be on one side. So why is Rahul Gandhi ji is on the streets, and what is his career? I don't understand. One. Secondly, what they're trying to do is, Ridhima ji, they're trying to elect a Dalit president so that they can target a particular community. So Kharge ji is, he's going to be elected, so they are going to target a Dalit community. So what they are looking into is, as you talk about Shashi, so Shashi Tharoor is all into one of the, a criminal charge. Now, whatever you say, he's still there. So what we are looking into is the scams of Congress when they were there. So what we need to understand is why did Congress is washed out from this country except from 2 states? Why it happened? This is the major point to understand. When Congress was in support with public, why was it washed off? What were the reasons? And if this is the reasons what people have chosen over and chosen BJP as their political party, they have to understand why. Rather, they have to learn from BJP how BJP is a Pradhan Sevak.
No, but Anuja Kapoor, to be fair to the Congress, fair to the Congress, they're saying the larger issue is that we're at least a party that even goes forward with a process like this. And the other is that we didn't really put a cap on who can contend and who cannot. It was open to all. Whoever wanted to come forward came forward, even with the likes of Shashi Tharoor, who's had differences, who's spoken, vocally against the Gandhis as far as some policies are concerned. Today, even he's being given an equal opportunity. So how can you question as far as the process is concerned?
Look, it is not about the process. This is all a rubber stamp stuff. This is all a puppet stuff. What do you think? What do you think? Sonia Gandhi ji is the ultimate power. Whatever is happening is trying to show to the larger people around that this is what they are believing in the process. If it was in the process, you have seen there was a various kind of an upraise which happened when Ashok Gehlot ji was trying to contest. He didn't want to leave being as a CM. He had a problem with Sachin, and so there are problems which are inside. If this is the real thing, then why did they wait it for 24 years? So I don't understand.
But this is where it becomes interesting, and I want to bring Varun in the conversation. Varun, this is where the Congress is saying that you keep criticizing us all year long, saying we can't go beyond the Gandhis. Okay. This time around, when the elections are taking place, the Gandhis are nowhere as far as the contenders are concerned. Rahul Gandhi, after he stepped down, he had made it amply clear that I have no interest as far as running the party is concerned. Sonia Gandhi also today said that I really waited for this day for a long time, quite literally. So the Congress is saying, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Varun, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm saying, at least for the first time, you can see the Congress is doing something right. And I could hear the BJP spokesperson pummeling. So, but to be honest, who the Congress elects, a Dalit, upper caste, they are electing a Congress leader as their president. In material, whether it is a farce, it was known from day one that whosoever comes in will be a rubber stamp, will be someone who would be representing the Gandhis. May it have been a Digvijay Singh or may it be a Kharge. The bigger question for spokespersons of Congress, especially to Mahima, would be that in the future, who will she represent? If Kharge says something and if Rahul Gandhi says something else, she will be seen defending what Rahul Gandhi is going to say, because that is basic how Congress is, and you cannot take it away. We have seen it during Manmohan Singh government's regime also, that how Rahul Gandhi, in spite of a prime minister sitting over there, a cabinet passing an ordinance, he sat with spokesperson and tore the ordinance. So the impact or the presence or the precedence of Congress being under the influence of Gandhis cannot be taken away. In material, who becomes the president? That is secondary. Till the time there are Gandhis in the party, the spokespersons, the leaders, everyone are going to go to Gandhi. Gandhi will become a superpower now.
Hemant, respond to what Varun is saying. He's saying you can continue having all these elections all you want. You can have whoever the contender is. But the end result will be that the Gandhis will still be in control of the party. This will only be a remote control party president.
How can
There is no confusion over it. See, in every party, there is always a possibility of having one party president, and then there is somebody who is the leader of the party. In the BJP, if you see, there is Mr. JP Nadda. Can he take independent decisions? My simple question. So there are two leaders, Mr. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. They are there, and JP Nadda is party president. Here also, If there is Mr. Kharge is the party president and Rahul Gandhi is taking on some Padyatra or something like that, and if party accepts him as a leader, what problem you and me can have? That is point number one. Number two, in every political party, forget about A, B, C or D. As far as internal party democracy is concerned, the situation remains same. Every party has a leader and everybody else in the party has to follow it. There is no confusion over it.
Okay.
At least there is some uptakes in Congress party after a long time, say after 24 years, once there is a non-Gandhi for the sake of it, that he is not contesting. This is something interesting now. The real issue, Ridhimaji, is somewhat else. How Mr. Kharge will be able to run the party? Will he be able to or not? How much interference he will be getting from Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi in day-to-day?
So we've assumed Mallikarjun Kharge is becoming the next party president. We're not even waiting till 19th or giving Shashi Tharoor a fair chance. Okay. But let me bring Mahima back in the conversation. Mahima, there seems to be a consensus on the panel where it's almost a given that Mallikarjun Kharge will be the next party president. But keeping that aside, as far as hypothetical talk is concerned, the point that Hemant is making is very, very crucial, which is that whoever comes out as a winner as far as this election is concerned, there is going to be a lot of immediate challenges for that party president. Let's first begin as far as the infighting within Rajasthan is concerned. That problem still continues. Sachin Pilot versus Ashok Gehlot. Does the Congress have a plan? As far as state elections are concerned, Himachal and Gujarat, you're already seeing the BJP put up an aggressive plan. You're seeing their top leaders on the ground, and then the larger plan for 2024. Is that game plan being readied by the Congress already?
Before I come to your question, Ridhima, when I was listening to the BJP spokesperson, the 2 points that I registered out of a 3-4 minute repetitive narrative was that number one, she said that this is not democratic, and she felt that it's not internal, and why are we putting it out? Why are we publicizing it? That's what I gathered. And number two, she said that by putting out a Dalit candidate, or nobody putting him out, by having a Dalit candidate who has a strong probability of winning, she thinks that we are trying to play some caste politics. So first of all, I would like to come to that point, because the BJP has fielded twice, Mr. Kovind and now our Honorable President Ms. Murmu, both Dalit candidates, one Dalit and one tribal candidate. So is she trying to share with us the mindset of the BJP behind bringing these candidates at the helm of the country? Also, when she talks about why is it in the public, because that's how democracy functions. It doesn't function in private rooms like demonetization. Yes,
fair enough. Mahima, I just wanted a clarity as far as the game plan that is being readied by the Congress, and also the charge that this is just going to be a remote control party president. You have the likes of Amit Malviya, who just tweeted saying and taken a dig at Manmohan, saying that he must be a relieved man today because he'll pass on the mantle to Mallikarjun Kharge. How is the Congress responding to the allegations that whatever said and done, it will still be a remote control party president?
Well, I just wish to enlighten these, people who, they have their own IQ and their own thought process. I just like to add to their knowledge that Congress has had 17 presidents, out of which only five have been from the Gandhi family. Rest of them have been non-Gandhians. In fact, once there was a case when Mahatma Gandhi's candidate actually lost the election when it was so. I don't think that that's the case here, that anybody is going to be remote controlled. Mr. Kharge has been our LOP in the parliament.
True.
He has a stature of his own. I think these people are insulting the public mandate of a 7-time continuous winner, in Karnataka. That's Mr. Kharge, and who's been an LOP continuously for all these years in the parliament. He has got his own intellect, his stature, his style. We'll see when he leads the party from the front. We'll see. We'll learn his style, and we'll fall in line. We'll all fall in line with the new president. As far as his strategies and his roadmaps will be concerned, as he looks at the future of the party.
I know Varun wants to come in. I also know Anuja wants to come in. Anuja, I want you to respond to what Mahima is saying. She's saying, what moral high ground does the BJP have? Every party or every organization has a hierarchy in place, and there's certain protocols that need to be followed. In the BJP, you have their top leadership taking the calls. So why is only the Congress being cornered?
At least we don't have a Sitaram Kesriji's case in our BJP. What they have done with Sitaram Kesriji, everybody know how his dhoti was being pulled up. And that is in Congress only. And now they're talking about being a puppet and talking about all other things. So these are the same people, the people who wants to make their own ideology. They take out the dhoti of those people, and this is how it happens. And now I also want to put it across, Rimaji, so just wait for a minute. I just also want to put it across. It's your people who pulled down Draupadi Murmu ji, the Ajoy Kumar and Adhir Ranjan ji and Udit Raj. So don't tell me about this. If you talk about Dalits, this is what we are telling you. You also have people in your own category, in your own cadre. So targeting Draupadi Murmu ji on that and telling that this is a contender of BJP or something of this. So this is highly shameful. So go back in your own era, talk about Sitaram Kesriji, then talk about the many other things which Congress has been doing.
Okay. Let's not get personal here on this panel. Anuja, point well heard. Varun, I believe you want to come in?
Out and fall. I just
to be honest, for the first time, I am of the opinion on your show, Ridhima, that someone from the BJP is unable to make the point properly. I don't think we should be getting Sitaram Kesri over here because there are multiple examples of having sidelined. But the point of Congress putting up a face like Mallikarjun Kharge, and everyone since day one knows that he is going to be remote controlled how Mr. Manmohan Singh was during all the 10 years of UPA rule. There is no denial. The point over here is now Rahul Gandhi at least is a free man. He should now hear to the opinions and advices that his leaders are giving. The former Goa CM has categorically stated it. Please, Baba, leave this Bharat Jodo. Elections are going to happen in Gujarat and Himachal. Go there. Please focus over there. It can only mean two things. Either they know that they are not going to win Gujarat and Himachal, so why waste time over there and spend as much as time they can in Karnataka and Kerala, which are showing some prospects of Congress coming back. Or either they know that they can do nothing without Rahul Gandhi and he has to be. He has to be there on that tone. But I think now Rahul Gandhi should work independently. He has got a lot of time and he should be doing it.
Okay, we'll really have to see what the revival plan of the Congress is. Come 19th, we'll have a clarity as far as the party president also is concerned. Unfortunately, I've completely run out of time. I appreciate all the guests who took out their time to join us this evening. I quickly do have to shift our focus to some updates coming in. Now we're understanding the juvenile accused of 2017 Gurugram school murder case shall now be tried as an adult. Now the Juvenile Justice Board has stated that the decision was taken after examining the mental stability of the accused. What we're also understanding is the trial will begin on the 31st of October. My colleague Ananya Bhatnagar is getting us all these details now, joining us on the broadcast. Ananya, on what basis has this decision been taken to try the juvenile as an adult?
Well, whenever an accused is above the age of 16 and there is a contradiction that he might have had an adult mind, then under Section 15 of the JJB Act, the JJB court, the Children's Court, can actually order for a psycho and physical analysis of the particular child to take place, wherein it is seen that whether this child can actually commit a crime as an adult. Does he have an adult mind? Does he have the adult force to commit this particular crime? And after all of these psycho analytical tests that are done, and in fact after consulting a counsellor, the Juvenile Justice Board today has ruled that the accused into this particular case, the child in conflict with law in this particular case, would now be tried and accused into this particular case. Remember that the charges was of murder 302, and hence he will be produced before a sessions court of Gurugram on October 31 when the trial in this particular case would begin. Remember that this is in like 30 days that this is the second time that the JJB has ordered child in conflict with law to be tried as an adult in a particular case. Remember that last time it happened a month back in the Jubilee Hills case in Hyderabad, where one of the out of the 5 accused into that particular case, 4 were said to be tried as in fact an adult. And now in this particular case as well, there is that this person would be tried, this child in conflict with law would be tried as an adult. So the trial would begin on October 31 when he will be produced before a sessions court in Gurugram, and then the court would be recording his submissions, his statement in chief, and then a cross-examination of all of the witnesses and the accused would take place in this particular case, and then the court would rule on as to whether charges are made against him or not.
Sure. Ananya, thanks a lot for getting us those details. That's the update that the juvenile accused of 2017 Gurugram school murder case will now be tried as an adult. With that, it's a wrap from my side. Plain Speak with Shivani is up next.